All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, guys, boys, and non-conventionally identifies. You might notice that I'm not alone here tonight. We got this lady over here with us. And according to
Hey.
that up there, and that down there, and that over here, and this Dodogama, who's gonna fuck off for a second, we are here with MissIria. Iria, why don't you say hello to everybody?
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having me, Mr. Pip.
Oh, not a problem. Thanks for joining us tonight. For those of you that don't know, Iria has been a Twitch streamer for how long?
Started, it was like the end of April. I kind of just hopped on and just went for it. So yeah, like just over 4 months, something like that. So yeah, so
Well, you're a bit of a
it's been
spring chicken,
rad.
huh?
Yeah, very new to it all. Very new to it.
Now, excuse me. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you stream? What can we typically find you doing while you're live, aside from blowing our
Well,
eardrums out?
well, I mean, you took the words out of my mouth there. I I originally started streaming horror games, and they kind of like took off like crazy. But I kind of like to stream, I've started going more down the adventure route, games that have stories. So currently I just finished The Last of Us, I finished the DLC for The Last of Us, and now I'm on to The Last of Us 2. So it's still kind of that horror genre, but also like, heavy story based. So let's just say a mixture of story and horror. I can't go wrong with horror. I've developed a really passionate love for it, which
Oh
I
yeah,
never expected.
absolutely. This is the only
Yeah.
person that I've ever met in my life that will literally just scream over nothing. And it's hysterical. Absolutely hysterical. Like, literally, a snowflake will fall on the screen in The Last of Us. And next thing you know, I have to literally just vault this headset, like, across the room. Because just, hello.
Calling me out. Yeah, no, I feel so bad.
No, it
For
is
my
fantastic. Never apologize. But yeah, guys,
well,
if you
I
need it,
didn't
if you need a way to stay up at night, area streams where you want to be.
too good. Well, I recently just finished Until Dawn, and because I'm still learning about like audio levels and like trying to adjust all of that. I had to put a warning saying rip headphone users because they're bound to be some sore eardrums out there after watching. So a little bit of
I
a
gotta be
disclaimer.
honest with you, area. I think that should just be like that should just be the default suffix for your stream.
Yeah,
Just throwing that out there.
yeah, I agree. I agree. Something I'll gotta work on.
So,
Oh my god, I love your cup. Sorry, I just saw that. That looks so sick.
oh yeah,
Oh
my
my
drinking
god.
horn.
I love that. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's unfortunately fake, but I had to get a synthetic horn because the real horns are waxed and you can't drink hard alcohol out of them because it'll eat the wax and
Oh,
then eventually start eating the horn and then you're basically just drinking dissolved bone. And that's how you get
well,
kidney stones.
right. You learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Interesting fact.
Like wine, beer, mead, stuff like that's fine. You go to make a rum and coke in it though, and
Yeah. No more horn.
you're in for a bad time in a couple months.
Yeah.
So 4 months on Twitch. That's not a whole lot of time. What got you into streaming in the first place? Since this is fairly recent for you.
Hmm. I mean, like, I feel like I've had a really huge interest in streaming since I was like young. Like, I think I remember like streaming, not necessarily, but just watching people play video games on YouTube, and then it kind of, migrated to watching people on Twitch. I just kind of was always obsessed with it. I liked the idea that you got to interact with people talking online, but also watching them play a game that's probably one of your favorite ones. And I just thought like that whole idea of getting to socialize with people online was so fun and interesting. And I've been meaning to start for the past 3 years, and I just kind of kept getting so nervous and like scared to put myself out there. And like kind of this year, I thought, what are you doing? You just spent this much money on a computer built for streaming. It's been 6 months, and you haven't even started streaming. And I was like, fuck it, let's
Oh,
just
so
go
you
for
like
it.
went
And
like you went all out. You were like, I'm gonna buy and build the best computer I can and just go
yeah,
for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I had this idea of like I want to future-proof myself because I know for a fact this is something that I want to do, whether it's a career choice or just a hobby. This is something that I have a huge interest in, and I need to try it, otherwise I'm never gonna know. And so I thought it was a time where I was ready to build my own computer anyway, because me and my dad were sharing a computer, we both play video games, so it kind of just like, this isn't working out. I need to build a computer.
That can be a little problematic, yeah.
Just a little bit. Like, it was when Fallout 76 came out as well, and my dad and I are like really big Fallout fans. So
did you guys like fight to the death over it? Like...
Well, we had to like have like a time schedule of like, I'm gonna play it this time, then you can play it this time, and it didn't work out. So I was like, let's build a computer.
I could just see you like hunched over the monitor, like, what are you doing? Dad's like, well, it's my turn. You're like, what day is it?
Yes, no, times like that did happen. It's funny, we'd actually like, every time one of us would take turns, we'd sit down and we'd watch each other play the game, and then I'd hop on and then my dad would watch me play the game. It was an interesting dynamic.
That's a good dynamic. It's a good family bonding time for sure. So
I digress. We kind of went off track there.
Oh, no, that is what this podcast is me throwing a question out, and then so here's the track, and we're way to fuck over here. That's
well, I'm in the right place, I think.
that's how we know we're doing this right.
Yeah.
So both your father and yourself are huge Fallout fans.
Well, I mean, like, I think I kind of take it to another level, but you know, my dad was the reason I kind of got into Fallout.
Your backdrop totally wasn't a dead giveaway.
There's nothing in the background. What are you talking about?
Yeah, no, you just have a couple lunchboxes from when you were a kid, right? And, you know, the plasma rifle, everybody's got one of those floating around somewheres, yeah.
It's just wallpaper. There's nothing real here.
Ooh, the secret tech. Oh, it's just a wallpaper. I should have did that. That would have been a lot cheaper.
Yeah, save yourself some money, right?
Just get cut. Hey, for those of you watching at home, if you want a fancy backdrop like this lady, don't bother like trying to redecorate your room, buying all kinds of crazy equipment and shelves and lights. Just get custom wallpaper printed.
Maybe that's what I should start doing. just sell wallpaper of my background.
Yeah, just like a screen you can pull down, like.
Oh my god, yes, green screen it. Oh my god, yes. Oh. Maybe this is a green screen. You guys have no idea.
All right, if that's a green screen, then I need to learn what witchcraft book you read for that black magic, because that's like perfect green screening.
Funny.
So, what was your first Fallout game that you played?
Well, my first Fallout game was Fallout 3, because I remember it came out in 2008, so I would have been 10 years old. I think I stayed up watching my dad play it, and then my dad was like, yeah, you can play it, and then I just kind of became obsessed from there. So I've played Fallout 3 probably, I think it's like 6 times or 7 times over, including DLC. And then Fallout New Vegas came out, and away we go.
all downhill from here.
Yeah, downhill. Absolutely downhill.
Did you ever dig into like Fallout 4 mods and like Fallout 3 mods?
I played around with mods in Fallout 3. Funny enough, like back then I was like 11, 12, 10, 11, 12, whatever ages I was, and I was modding Fallout. Right now, if I was to play Fallout, I'm like, how the fuck do I mod? Like, I don't know how I was doing that shit when I was a little youngin', and I don't know how to mod now. But I put this like stupid alien ship that had this infinite bullets system where you could just press a button and it's like, here you go, bullets for your weapons, and I just like broke the game. And I never kind of fiddled with modding after that.
Well, that's how you know you're modding correctly, is when you eventually find mods that break the game.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun though. It was a lot of fun.
It's like Skyrim. If you're not crashing every hour, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Or if your computer's not screaming for help, like.
Yeah.
8K texture pack? Yeah. Don't mind if I do.
I never did the texture packs. I don't know what it was. I was just interested in all of these weird areas that people were like putting together and creating, and I was like, what's this?
Content.
Yeah. And then but I never dabbled in it as I got older. I just like the base game, vanilla Fallout. It's got a special place in my heart.
I gotta tell you, if you run out of stuff to stream at some point, which given the fact that you're into horror is very unlikely, but if you ever just need a break and you need to kind of come back to home row, if you will, there are some baller ass HD mods for Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas that basically make it into a modern AAA title. I would highly recommend it.
Yeah, that's getting my heart fluttering just thinking about that.
Well, good.
Like
Good.
it's been a minute since I've played Fallout 3, and I usually like alternate them between the years. Like 1 year I play 3, the 1 year I play New Vegas, and I'd always change it back and forth. And I haven't played it for like 2 years now. It's been a moment, so I feel like I'm might be
You
heading down
do
that
do
path
for another run through.
pretty soon.
See, I
Oh,
thought your
yeah.
heart was fluttering because this Pichu is adorable.
Oh, but it is. I was about to say Pikachu, but it is Pichu. It is Pichu. When I used to work at a game store, I had to learn all the names when customers would come in. So
Oh god.
yes, people are like, "What's this?" And I'm like, "That's Mewtwo." And they're like, "But what's Mewtwo?" And I'm like,
I'll tell you when you're older. Go away.
Yeah. Yeah.
That must have been a bloody nightmare when newer generations came out.
Yeah. I mean, like it's been a while since I kind of have actively tried to learn them. So, but like, it's a lot. It's a lot. Pokemon is overwhelming.
I don't know. Anybody that knows me in chat knows that like my chat tried to educate me on the current generation of Pokemon, and they showed me a Pokemon that's literally a fucking ice cream cone, and I was like, this is how original we are right now. I mean, yes, I understand that Magnemite was literally a ball with a bunch of magnets floating around it. I understand that fully, totally. And Voltorb was just a ball, literally just a Pokeball without the lines on it. I fully understand that. But when you try to tell me that something that I would eat in the summertime can beat a Charizard, no, you need to get the out of my house. Period.
Say what? Did you say beta Charizard? No
Yeah,
way.
no.
Like, I don't know Pokemon, but that's like what?
Yeah, it's just I'm just over it.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't even want to bother with it. Give me my original 150, maybe even the second generation, because unknowns and Entei and shit were fucking baller. Legendary birds were cool. After that, bruh, like 300 or something really should have been all we needed.
Yeah, it'll go on forever. It'll go on forever. It's Pokemon's wild.
By the time I die, there's gonna be like 10,000 Pokemon.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
You know what, pro strat guys, I'm just gonna live forever.
Yes, yes. Sounds like a plan.
Like, oh, you know what? That's probably not gonna be the case, because like I'm gonna try to dabble in Pokemon like 20 years from now, and I'm just gonna have a fucking heart attack with how many there are. That's what's gonna do me in ultimately.
God, can you imagine going back and you're just like, wait, what's this? I don't remember this. Oh my gosh. Whatever.
So, you had mentioned that, you know, you kept getting nervous about streaming, and I mean, ultimately, like, a bit self-conscious, I'm sure, about it. But so, what was the thing that kept you from clicking that go live button? Like, what were some of the biggest, internal conflicts of yours?
I think it's just I was so afraid of people like seeing who I was. Like, I just have a weird sense of humor. I only open up to a very small group of people, and I was so afraid of what people would say. And like, I have a small enough friend group as it is. I can count how many friends on my hand that I have, and it was like the idea of opening up to an audience of people who I have no idea what they're thinking, no idea what they're saying about me, and I was just very insecure, I think.
Well, according to Twitch, you're gonna have to have a lot more fingers, because you got a lot more friends than that now.
I know, it's wild. It blows my mind, like this sort of journey that I've been on.
And oh my god, so you're trying to tell me right now, I'm gonna pick on you a little bit here. Oh my god, I hope people on the internet that watch other people play video games for their own entertainment, I hope they don't think I'm weird. That was your thought process.
Very big part of it. A very big part of it. I don't know. It's just so many stupid. Like when you think about something for so long, and then you don't do it, and then you like kind of get anxious because you're like, oh, I didn't do it, and then it gets longer and longer, and then you're like, never gonna do it, and it just made it 10 times worse. 10 times worse. And I remember because I have this really bad thing where I get really bad anxiety and I go red, like tomato red. And I remember the first stream that I did, it was like, I went so red, I was shaking, and like I was like wearing a low cut top, which was even worse because then you could see how red I was going. And then I was just
so you just get like All
I
over.
red. My
Oh
whole body, my
no.
arms go red, my face, my ears, my neck. It's really bad. I used to be embarrassed by it, but streaming has changed that for me. I'm just like, guys, I'm red. I'm anxious. Let me get over it for a moment. You know, I've learned to own it a little bit. But the first stream was fucking horrendous, to put it simply. But it was like that defining moment where I was like, I don't care anymore. I'm just like happy to be here.
Right?
So yeah,
And
I
pro
needed that.
tip,
I needed that.
people on Twitch, people who watch Twitch, only really like the weird people.
Oh yes! I'm here. I'm ready. I'm here for it.
Cause like when I go on Twitch to hang out with somebody, I don't want some like blue collar like, oh I work 9 to 5 and I do stock
Yeah.
trading and I'm just gonna play chess online and I'm gonna be totally stone faced with no emotion. Like no, that's not.
Yeah.
That's not how the internet works.
It's so great. It's just been so fun. You know, there's so many people that I've like spoken to, including yourself. You know, like you're such a huge support not only to my channel and you know
Oh.
my family, but like I've seen how you support so many other streamers, and I'm like, oh my god, I love this. This is what I'm here for. Because I love helping people. I work in a customer service scenario outside of Twitch, and it's kind of just like I just love this. I love the interaction. I love supporting others. So I don't know. This is so neat. I love it. I love being on Twitch. It's so much fun. I don't know. Oh my god, I'm getting giddy.
Totally fine.
Yeah.
Girl, live your emotions, live your life.
Yes.
Be here, and yes.
Yes. Oh my god, I'm dying. That's too good. Too good. Oh, compose. Need to compose yourself. Oh god. Amazing.
The composure.
Yeah.
If we want a composure around here, I would have went to music school.
Yeah.
Instead, I studied graphic arts because that went well.
Really? That's so great. I didn't study at all. I just kind of jumped on here.
Pro
Learning
strats,
it as
just
I
don't
go.
study.
Yeah. Yeah.
So obviously you've been a gamer kind of through and through, born, bled, and bred. And you said
Yeah.
you actually previously worked at a GameStop even.
Yes, I did for 6 years.
So is that
6
did all the
years.
pop vinyls just fall off a truck or?
Well, that's kind of one of the best and worst parts of working at a game store was like I would be processing stock and I'd be like, oh, what's this? And then I had actually at one of my last stores that I worked at, they had a shelf that was my shelf. And it was like, you don't touch anything on that shelf because like I'm only a casual. I can't afford to buy it, but I'm going to spend my money on it anyway. So I had a shelf filled with just Fallout stuff, controllers, all of this crap. And it's like, I just bought it all because I saw it in the stock box. I didn't want customers to buy it, so I put it for myself. So yeah,
This mine now.
Yeah, literally. I remember one time we hired a new person, and he accidentally sold one of the controllers from my section because he didn't realize it was my section.
Oh no.
And then it was like, oh my god, and he felt so bad, and I was like, it's okay, it's fine. But I was low key, I was so dead inside because
Oh my god.
can't get this controller color anymore, and I was like, damn it, but it's okay.
Maria's just on her
It's
phone
okay.
like, how to get coworker fired.
Oh no, he was so lovely though. He was so lovely, and I was like, it's okay, like you know, like it's materialistic stuff. I was just more like, oh my god, something got taken off my shelf, and it was so devastating. But that's how I ended up with all this stuff was because I had my shelf. So it's like a weird type of lay-by situation where they gave me like a year to pay off stuff.
Like, yeah, you
So-
can have this. We'll figure it out later.
Yeah. Like my managers were sweet about it. It was fine.
Oh man, that's hysterical.
Yeah.
So you got over the go live butterflies, and you started realizing that, oh, people like weird people on the internet. Who would have thought?
Yes.
So tell me about some of your thought process on like your actual like, I guess you could say like your artistic process of it, like what you're gonna stream or like how you're going to be when you live stream. Tell me a little bit about what went through your brain there, as far as like, oh, do I just be myself? Do I turn into a character? Do I?
This is something that I think it's kind of hard to put in words because I have a really bad I'm very conscious of it though, but I have a really bad habit of really overthinking, you know, especially relating to Twitch. Like, what am I gonna say? How am I gonna act? What am I gonna stream? Like, in the beginning, I probably like a month ago, it really started stressing me out, but now I kind of just hop on and I just roll with the flow. I feel like if I begin to plan stuff, just with my like I suppose personality type, if I try and plan things and things go lopsided, I don't deal with it well. So I like to think of myself as very spontaneous. You know, if I've got a story to share from the time that I was not streaming, I'll go on, I'll share it, and we'll just play the game. I don't know. I just I can't say I have like a proper artistic process or I have a proper plan in mind, but I think spontaneous is the only way I can kind of sum it up.
Not bad, not a bad way to go about it. So
Yeah.
now, as far as like a set schedule or like things that you plan to do you just come up with that like on the spot that day, or do you kind of try to like schedule things out in advance a little bit?
Yeah. With the games, I like to obviously at least have one game lined up for when I finish a game, because I just don't know when I'm going to finish games. You just don't know. So I do like to have something lined up in advance. But I honestly, I am spontaneous even in that space. I've had to, one time a game went south and I ended up playing Granny Simulator. So
I'm
that's
sorry,
how
what?
that went. Yes, I was gonna play Outlast 2, and Outlast 2 was just too graphic, and I didn't want that content as a part of my channel, and I didn't want people to see it. I thought that game was fucked. I don't know.
Yeah, Outlast
just for me.
Outlast is fucked
Outlast
up.
1 I loved. Whistleblower was another level, and then Outlast 2 was just whoa. Like I couldn't do it. I played an hour and I was like, nah. So we played oh no, maybe I didn't play Granny Simulator that day. But anyways, I ended up playing like random ass shit when things go wrong. So but yeah, it's a bit of a hard one for me to kind of determine. Again, that rolls back to just me being random with it.
Just kind of in the moment.
Yeah, I have a whole bunch of games installed on my computer, so if something goes south, I'm kind of like,
you got that backup game.
Yeah, Destroy All Humans. Destroy All Humans is gonna be my backup. Oh, any and all time.
Oh, absolutely, that game is phenomenal.
Oh my god, I love that game.
Yeah, that's pretty much Monster Hunter for me. I mean, Monster Hunter is about 65% of the content here on this channel, but we always have that to go back to. That's kind of like where the base core of our community is anyways. So if I can't play a game for some reason, or like when Horizon Zero Dawn came out on PC, the PC port was absolutely horrendous for AMD processors, and
oh, was it?
Oh,
my
yeah.
God.
Oh yeah, the game,
What?
they're still working out some kinks, but it was horribly optimized on launch.
Oh,
And
wow.
people with Intel processors, for the most part, no real issues. Little stutter here and there. AMD, good luck loading into a new area, because you'd get micro stuttering about every 5 seconds for like 2 hours.
So disappointing. What?
Yeah,
How did
so
they manage that?
the game was totally unplayable for like a week and a half. So every time they had like a little hotfix update, I was like, guys, I'm downloading the patch. When I get home from work, we're gonna go ahead and stream this. And I'd get home, I'd start it up, I'd play for like an hour, we'd hit a new area, and all the micro stuttering starts, and I'm like, well, I guess it's time to
Oh
hunt,
my
guys.
God. Yeah.
Pip was sad. Dude,
That's
I
so
wasn't
neat.
sad. I was livid. I went on a 40-minute rant. That could have been an episode of Let's Chat in and of itself. Me just ranting right here. Super freaking upset that I couldn't play Horizon.
Are there any clips?
I think most people was just like were really depressed for me, so there wasn't really any clips. So they were like, well, yeah, we just want him to move on from
Just
this.
don't want to think about it. Like
Yeah.
we don't want to witness that again. But I do think with streaming though, you need to have a backup, because like
Oh, yeah.
I bought a capture card, and I think one of my PCIe ports is faulty, but I can't take it back because then I'll have no computer to kind of stream on. And they were like, we can't give you a replacement one. So it was just this whole thing. And I went to go stream The Last of Us, and it was like green screening.
Yeah, I remember
and I was like,
that.
Yeah, that. And that was just that. I don't know, that was the Granny Simulator one.
Oh, I guess I can't. For those of you that can't tell, Aria's from across the pond. So when she's live, it is late as all get out for you boy, Mr. Pip. And you guys already know this because we usually are rating her. And if we're rating her, then it's way past most people's bedtimes here in the United States.
Yeah. I always feel so bad. Like, it's like you and I don't know what it is, but majority of you know, my followers are from international parts of the world, and I'm like, whoa, like that's so crazy. Like everyone stays up in the morning to stay up and watch, and I'm like, what? Like it just blows my mind that's what, I don't know, just crazy.
Welcome to Twitch, Iria. Us over here in the US have no lives, and we don't sleep, and we're all fucking quarantined.
Yes, quarantine. It's going bad again here actually, so it's starting to get that way again. Fuck COVID.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
So, I think that's definitely a very good takeaway for sure. For any of you that missed the statement, always have a backup when you're streaming. If something goes south, you know, like me, we fired up Monster Hunter when Horizon didn't work. We played a couple of Hands of Magic too. RDW, you remember that in chat. Definitely always have a backup, and it was kind of alluded to from me, kind of from us or from our previous topic, but just if you guys are thinking about streaming, don't do what Iria did and stare at the go live button for years after building a bomb ass computer. Just fucking do it. You're gonna have a panic attack. You're gonna shit your pants, probably. I don't know. So maybe put a towel down or a bucket.
Yeah.
Do something. Get your life together.
You might go red.
Yeah.
You might go red.
You might turn into a tomato.
Yeah, it might happen. You're fine. Just do it.
You might even turn into a pineapple. People like pineapple. Fucking click the button.
God, yeah.
The worst that happens is you don't like it, or you stream for 10 minutes and then you say, I can't do this. You turn it off and you say, all right, I'll try it again in a week. Then you go for 20 minutes. Then you go for 30 minutes. Eventually you get there, or you decide, hey, you know what, this isn't for me, but I like the culture, I like the people, and you go find a streamer to hang out with. That's how we have a lot of you beautiful people that are in chat right now that watch, but maybe don't stream yourselves.
And I know streaming's something that's becoming more and more a part of our societal culture. You know, streaming is such a huge part of this world, and it's only growing, and more people have interest in it. And I'm sure more and more people are similar to my situation, where they're just too afraid and too nervous. And as much as people probably don't believe, because I do seem to be very outgoing on the internet and very loud and crazy and just weird.
Yes, can confirm.
I'm a very insecure, like, hermit crab, and it's been a wild experience getting to talk with people, and you know, there's just nothing to be afraid of once you start. Take a small step and just keep taking small steps. You know, you don't have to do much at first, just keep going. That's the only thing.
And let's see,
you know, if you're interested in it.
Yeah, and I mean, right now, according to Twitch, there are several million people watching. You can find, like, there is at least like two people.
There's a corner for everybody. There's a corner for everybody on this platform.
I bet you if we went into the just chatting streams or the IRL channel, we'd probably find somebody that is literally their stream title is staring at my webcam, and there'd be somebody watching it.
I think that's so amazing. Like Twitch, like the just chatting section is like, whoa, it's big.
It's weird.
Huge.
I'm glad that they started bisecting it into podcasts and travel, and I'm so glad that they did that. Otherwise, you walk into some weird shit that you don't want to see.
Yeah. I actually had a bad experience, like, with putting just chatting as my category of stream, and I don't know, it just, all these people came in expecting something, and I was like, I'm gonna get rid of just chatting. Like, I'm sure, like, you know, there are streamers that just chatting is their own little niche thing and their community's aware of it, but people came into my stream and they were like, isn't this meant to be this, like, something that I won't say? And I'm like, no.
No, goodbye.
So yeah, got rid of that. But yeah, it's
oh man, some of the people in chat remember that. So I had a potato of a computer at first. I was only able to stream like card games and stuff, but one of the things that like started getting me branching out into other content was I built various model kits on stream, and I would put just chatting for that. And yeah, like let's see, I've got that Gundam right over there.
Muting. I think you're muted.
Hello?
Oh, I can hear you
there
now. Sorry, you muted before. Okay, we're good.
I think I might have leaned on my mute button by mistake. So yeah, I have that Gundam over there that we built on stream in the background on the right.
Oh my god, so cool.
And then I think there's one above me. Oh, they're kind of tucked away on that back shelf.
Yeah, yeah.
Behind
Oh my
the
God, that's so neat.
thousands of fucking trading cards, because I'm a cardboard crack addict. Anyways, but yeah, no, we'd put just chatting in there, and then people would be like, Can you show your feet? And I'm like, bro, fucking here, get the fuck out.
Okay. Oh my God, that's so funny.
Like, what the fuck?
No, no.
Here, you want the other one
God,
too?
Oh my God, I'm dying. That's amazing.
Like, guys, don't go on Twitch asking for feet. Like, come on, just don't do it. The fuck? What? RDW? You were there for that. I had to give you mod status for like 5 minutes so you could ban somebody. Moving along.
Amazing. Amazing.
So now when it comes to you like deciding what content you want to actually stream in general, do you tend to be the type that like likes to play a game through in its entirety, or do you like kind of jump around?
No, I think this is like even off stream. I'm someone who will like pick Dragon Age Inquisition for an example. I will play that game for like 3 months straight, and I don't touch anything else. I can't actually multitask between games. I can't do it. I just feel like it feels wrong. It feels like I'm cheating on the other game. I don't know. I just can't do it. So I would just play a game through in its entirety, and then I'll switch over. But in terms of streaming though, one thing that I started doing was at least one day a week I'd hop on with my mods and we'd like play a game together because we're friends in real life and we have good chemistry. Cool. So yeah, at the past couple of weeks I haven't been able to do it, but that's something that I kind of like to do moving forward because it can get a little monotonous like doing the same thing every single stream. So just to kind of break it up, I would probably do that. But in terms of a playthrough of a game, I'll complete it, then we'll move on. So
Nice.
I can't multitask. I can't jump around.
Yeah, we get a lot of the people. So we interview a lot of variety streamers, for lack of a better term. Yeah. Which I really feel like the variety streamer category is a bit of a misnomer these days because everybody, even if you don't think you do, you have a niche, you have a type of game you like, and you'll tend to stream that. There's very few people anymore that are considered like I'll play a bajillion different kinds of games. That doesn't really exist in my opinion. But yeah, so but like a lot of people that we interview, like we have some people like yourself that will play an entire game through, and then okay, however many days or weeks it took us, then we'll pick another game. But then like we literally, it's like a 50-50 split down the middle, and then we've got other people that are like, oh well, I'm gonna play this game this day, and I'm gonna switch to this game, then this game, then this game, and then they'll just
so
like
interesting.
They'll either have like a schedule like, all right, this week we'll play a bunch of these kind of games, then next week we'll do a different kind, and then we'll rinse and repeat until we start beating them all. We've seen so many different like interesting formulas to it. It's actually kind of refreshing because the past 3 people we've interviewed just jump around. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, I streamed 5 to 6 different games during the fucking week. So yeah.
I have recently one type of thing I don't want to say regretted because I learnt from it, but one thing that I kind of wish I would have done differently is I started playing horror games straight off the bat. I'd never played horror games in my life ever. Like I never played a horror game, and the first one I played was Resident Evil 7, and I mean that was an intro to horror, let me tell you. But then I just started that game was interesting. I love them. I fucking love them. But I started playing horror games exclusively, and I kind of destroyed like not destroyed is a terrible negative word. I just kind of wish I had a formula where it was like I'd play a horror game, then I'd play a story game, then I'd play a horror game, kind of bounce between them to kind of break it up, because horror games are usually shorter. Aside from like Dark Souls, but I don't know if that's horror, but anyway.
Dark Souls is action RPG, but
action. Sorry. Did I work in a game shop? Clearly not.
I wasn't gonna call you out on your potential street cred there, but if you wanna put your head in the chopping block, and
it's fine. I'm out there now. Everyone knows.
Exposed.
But ideally. what I'd like to do now though, or what I've kind of already adopted is that I will play through a story game or whatever game that I want to play through, and then I'd play through a horror game and then kind of break it up. So that way I'm not continuously just playing story games straight on, because I like horror. I've developed a love for horror games and I want to continue that. But there's only so many horror games that I feel like I'm interested in. I don't want to go through them all really quickly.
Yeah, horror
I
has
like to
like
have a
a,
break
a
in
weird
between.
like subtext to it anyways, because you've got like the jump scare games, then you've got the just like sheer psychological thrillers that are just like they just
Yeah.
like Until Dawn. They just fuck you up in the head. Like I don't know what is actually like reality
I
anymore.
needed a break.
That is one of those games I will never play through. But if you find somebody on Twitch that is streaming that game and I'm not doing jack shit, I'm watching that.
Yeah. Oh my god, I loved Until Dawn. That game. Oh, well, actually, oh my god, Until Dawn was amazing. But just going back off what I was saying, the reason why I was kind of a little disappointed was one of the last games I played before I kind of made the whole switch up and was like, this is draining and I need to. Yeah, well, horror games in itself, it's just draining, jump scaring, screaming
Oh
all
yeah.
the time. And 4 days a week I was doing that. I'm like, I can't keep up.
I mean, having your anxiety and your blood pressure just like this all the time is not healthy. And then you
Yeah,
get
it's
eventually you
not.
get desensitized to it, and then a jump scare happens, and you're
Yeah.
just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it was a lot. But it was kind of sucked because one of the last horror games or horror thriller, psychological thriller games that I played was Alien Isolation. At the back end of kind of like this overwhelming horror game journey. And I don't feel like I experienced that game the way I should have because I was so tired. And that game scared the crap out of me, but I kind of wish I had waited and kind of kept that, alternated between the games, because I don't think I experienced it the way I should have. So that's a game that I think I'd probably go through and play again, purely so I can get that proper, authentic experience instead of being tired from screaming all the time. But
I was gonna say,
yeah.
do you have like a sponsorship with like Halls or something? You just constantly have a
With
box of
Halls?
throat
What's
lozenges?
Halls?
They don't have them over there? It's
We
a
have Strepsils.
Oh, okay. I'm being cultured this evening.
That's what it's about. Oh, okay,
it's
so it's like a throat lozenge.
Yeah, throat lozenge, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I should probably reach out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need them.
Excuse me, are you what's known as a screamer streamer?
Yes.
Oh, that'd be a good brand for you. Yeah, the screamer streamer, you know?
maybe one day if I ever get around to making like a t-shirt, I'd chuck it on there. No,
There you
mug.
go.
Mug sounds
Oh yeah, mugs would be cool too, yeah.
yeah.
Oh man. So you got over the hump and anxiety of just putting yourself out there, and it is a taxing thing. You're especially if you don't have like a character set up, like you don't have that wall in front of you of like, I'm gonna be like this on Twitch, and then I still have like my real life. How did you find that you streaming on Twitch influenced your interactions with people in real life at all?
100%. Absolutely. I think I got a little too overwhelmed. I mean, 4 months. It's kind of like my streaming journey's gone, peaked, crazy peak, come crashing down, then it's gone up again, and then now it's kind of like plateauing. And I kind of, when it was at its peak, I kind of got a little like too into it, and I found myself forcing to be super high energetic because that was kind of what I'd created for myself, was kind of like, this was the persona because I'm playing all these horror games, I'm so full of energy and I'm scared, crazy, la la la. And I got really overwhelmed, and I kind of was like, fuck, like you need to, like, you're draining yourself. And then I kind of chilled out, and then I became me online, and I've kind of come out of my shell. And when I'm speaking to people in real life, it's the same thing where I'm not afraid to be me anymore in person, which has kind of been this crazy journey over this short period of time. And it's like, whoa, this has done wonders for my social interactions.
Amen to that.
It's an unreal. I don't know. It's even my dad. He's like, you've like really like grown as a person. I'm like, oh my god, Dad, what? So it's, yeah, absolutely.
Shout outs to Papa Iria, youtubebomb.com, fam.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been pretty amazing. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, so what would you say is one of the bigger kind of realizations, or one of the things that you've learned about yourself from streaming versus just kind of being super awesome out in Aussie land and having nobody on the internet know who you were?
I just learnt to be me. I don't know. I just, oh god, these type of this specifically overwhelms me because Twitch has affected this side of my life so crazy. But I don't know.
And so rapidly too, even because
rapidly, yeah. Like it's just.
Yeah, a lot of the people that we've interviewed have been streaming for like a year or two. I've been streaming myself for about two years and change now, and realistically speaking, it maybe was about a year before I really started like kind of coming into like a, not like a persona, but I kind of started like finding where I kind of fit, like how Twitch fits in my life and vice versa. And just how to be.
Yeah. It very similar to you. It's just kind of, I'm just not afraid anymore.
It's a great feeling just not giving a
not
right?
Afraid. It's that's literally it. I don't give a fuck. Like
yeah.
I'm just like, I've all these years, you know, I'm 22, and it's like all of these years going through my teenage years to my early 20s, I'm like, why have I been so afraid to just be me? Like, I'm nothing, like, there's nothing to lose, just being you. And I think that's the best part.
Yeah, like when we were kind of shooting the shit on your stream and you said that, I was ready to reach through my fucking screen and smack the shit out of you. I'm like, the fuck do you mean? Like, oh, you know, I'm a little shy. I'm like, people need to meet you. You're fucking fantastic. What the fuck? How do you not have like 14,000 friends at least on Facebook? Like,
no, funny enough, like I think people keep unfriending me on Facebook.
Say I haven't touched my Facebook in like 6 years.
Well, I only share Fallout stuff and I don't speak to anybody. So, but
I'd follow that timeline. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I'm starting to, especially like in my workplace and I guess old friends, I'm starting to kind of reach out now because I'm not in that period anymore of where I'm like anxious and wanting to do something. You know, I now have learned to just grasp things and roll with it. Whatever comes from it, whatever comes, but you don't know until you try. So, yeah.
Now, what would you say were some of your bigger kind of stream fails, if you will?
Stream fails. Well, audio. Let's just put that as a top runner.
Streamer's worst nightmare.
The amount of people that have been like, your audio is shit. And I'm like, I know. I know.
I'm sorry, I'll do better.
I'm sorry. I will pay for some replacement eardrums. I'm sorry. But my audio, man, that thing sucked. But I don't know if I've had stream fails just yet. It's something that's on my mind. Oh, actually, I can't speak words. Sometimes I go to say something, and someone clipped this once. It was in Alien Isolation. It was Resident Evil 2, and I couldn't say disciplinary. And it's like I was going disciplinary, and I just couldn't say it. And then there's this clip, and it has like some of the most views of my clips. And I'm like, oh my god. I'm
sorry. I love you to bits, but I was crying. Like I was in tears. Like I laughed so hard that my everything hurt.
It happens not even just with that word. There are some words where I just can't read them.
Right.
Like it's just on stream. It's on stream. Something sets me off and I can't read. I think that's why I'm kind of like against reading like notes and stuff, because I'm like, I'm gonna say something and someone's gonna come.
It's really like, what it is like there was a study on it. I forget who did it, but it's like the high engaged, it's like the highly engaged portions of your brain are just overloaded, so then when you go to actually like, oh shit, I have to like focus on something, but you've got chat over here, you've got the game that's going on, you've got music if you're listening to music, you're paying attention to your numbers, your notifications, all that, your brain just is like out of system like RAM. Fuck off.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Bitch, close the Chrome tab.
It's very much like that. But I think what I'm gonna do one day is all of the clips of me not being able to speak, I'm gonna create a YouTube video out and just chuck it in for the world to see, and then it's gonna be fine.
I kept thinking like we should find if anybody in chat knows somebody, we gotta find one of those like crazy talented like electronic artists and see if we can take your stutters and make like a fat ass fucking beat with it.
Oh my god, could you imagine? Oh my god.
Oh my god.
It'd be amazing. Just make a beat out of disciplinary.
Matter of fact, if anybody knows, hit me up. We'll get them in touch with Iria, and then I got some work for them too, because I stutter like crazy on stream too. I have a speech impediment.
Yeah.
If I start getting tired or overwhelmed, anything with an S in it just trips me up like crazy.
Yeah, it's yeah. But I mean, I used to be embarrassed, but I'm not embarrassed anymore. It's just kind of like when it happens, it doesn't stop happening.
it's a part of the charm.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their quirks.
Yep, that's it.
I don't shut the fuck up. That's my quirk.
Oh, that's not a bad thing. That's one thing I've had to learn is actually talk, because I'm a very quiet gamer outside of stream. I just look at the screen. I don't speak. But on here, I've learned.
Absolutely. I only know you on Twitch, so that baffles the shit out of me.
I know. It baffles me. I watch my VODs and I'm like, this isn't me. Like, this is not me. I'm not like this. Like, I'm this different. So I've actually learned to verbalize all of my actions when I'm playing a game, which is something that I never did before.
You gotta think out loud.
So, yeah, thinking out loud and actually speaking it, because it's always just this dead air, and it's kind of like, I gotta fill that air.
Just awkward.
Yeah. Sometimes when it's like I can't verbalize my thoughts, I'm just like, awkward.
Yeah, because like I even said this in your chat. That's one of the first things I said. I'm like, damn, how long have you been streaming for? Because you're engaging, you're constantly you're keeping the energy up. You're talking to chat. You're somehow not dying in the game. Which when I played The Last of Us,
came at a bad time.
when I played The Last of Us, holy shit, I died like every fucking 5 minutes, and I wasn't even streaming the game.
I don't know. It's there are some days where I have really good days where I'm like, I'm gonna fucking do this. I'm gonna like just not die. And then there are other days where it just everything will go south.
All right, let's just turn on the death counter and just start taking bets.
That's how you start the stream. All right, death counter, here we go. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the topics that I kind of was really interested in touching on was one of the discussions we actually had in your chat, as far as like kind of the expectations you set for yourself, what as a content creator, as a Twitch streamer, when you start realizing that you're developing a sense of community, like you're starting to get regular viewers coming in, and you almost feel like this obligation to them. Why not, since you've kind of experienced this in a much more rapid sense than a lot of people we've interviewed, I kind of wanted to get like your thought process and like how that developed for you in general, and kind of some of the things that were going through your brain and how you handled that.
I'm still going through that. Those emotions of kind of like, like, oh my God, I've got a following. These are people who day in, day out that even though I only stream 3 days a week, there are people that are there. I mean, you're one of them, Pip. But it blows my mind that there are people who come to my streams and they're waiting for me to hop on and go live, have a conversation, let's play games together. Like, it's just crazy. And there are people who have messaged me like, your streams have brought a light to my life. Your streams, your energy, your positivity. Like,
isn't that the fucking best when you get those?
It's oh my God.
But you're like, wait, what?
I'm such an emotional being, and I've never been in a position, at least that I've kind of really impacted someone's life. And it's kind of like, holy shit, I started this, yes, I mean, obviously this is something that I would love to make a career out of at some point, but I ultimately started this because I wanted to, speak with people, play games online, have fun. But the resulting impact of that is that there are people who I'm quite possibly changing their lives. They might be going through something and they've messaged me saying like, hey, like, this is, you're helping me. And I'm like, whoa, like, I had to take a step back and kind of check myself, because it's kind of overwhelming knowing that's a pressure that I've never dealt with before. And I'm still kind of learning how do I make sure that I'm still looking after myself, because my life outside of this is fucking hectic. But I think I'm still going through the motions. It's also weird hearing those comments, because I'm like, I'm just being me. What am I doing other than being me? I'm not trying to be anybody else. I'm not actively trying to change people's lives, but I somehow am.
Yeah.
And it's just, overwhelming. I'm
Yeah,
still trying to learn
and they kind
and
of like delve into
navigate.
that. Like it's kind of funny to think about because like it becomes like a pressure, like we
Yeah,
framed it as, of like, oh my god, I need to be there, like I need, like this person is going, like who knows what's going on with these people. But I mean, if them just being here and hanging out with somebody on the internet is like impacting their life, they must be going through some shit kind of situation. But at the same time, it's like, well, what am I really doing? I'm just coming in
yeah,
and hanging out just like a friend would, just like,
yeah,
just like somebody in their social circle would. It's like when we
yeah.
used to come home. I mean, I was a big Call of Duty guy back in the day. So when me and the guys would get out of school, we'd rush home after fucking class
To do
and
that.
we'd start
Yeah,
jamming Call of Duty together. And
yeah.
that was like my decompressed time. And then eventually mom would pull the plug on the router and then I'd have to start doing homework. Thanks, mom. Love you. Anyways, but it's weird that it's weird in a good way that it turns into this like stress on yourself, but then you kind of really just have to pull yourself back and realize, like, I'm just existing, like I'm doing the same thing that I would do for Tony down the street.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. It's very rewarding. Because what I alluded to before, I love being in a position where of customer service. I love helping people. That was something I was always extremely, not always, always was. I still am extremely passionate about. And I think it's kind of like amazing that me just hopping on the internet, playing games, doing something I love, learning stuff every single day is helping someone else. And if anything, that will push me more to continue, especially when I have those days where I'm like, I'm having a bad day, I don't want to open stream, like I've had a bad day at work, and then I'm like, no, but like, I'm helping someone, and that's something that I would only want to do more of.
yeah,
I just can't wait for, that for hopefully to be a time where I can start involving charities and working with people who really, need help. I'm only a small little person, but I do have big dreams and aspirations.
hey,
So
not that numbers are really a thing. I don't
yeah,
personally, I do this as like my decompress. This is, for lack of a better term, a hobby that I take very professionally and seriously.
yeah,
But in 4 months, you caught up to somebody that's been doing this basically full time for 2 years. So I say you've definitely got talent. You've got a drive and a following that could go somewheres. So I would
you're gonna
definitely
make me
say
red. I'm gonna go red.
I definitely would say that you have a brilliant bubbly personality. You've got an excellent self-discipline when it comes to streaming. Like, you know when to pull yourself back. Like you said, you stream 3 days a week,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is, I feel like, is really important for a lot of people that watch this podcast later and that are watching live that might be a content creator themselves. Learn your limits. Like,
yeah.
if this is your time, cool, do this as much as you want. If you find that this feels like a job, or you feel like there's parts of this that you cannot take in all the time, you need to give yourself time to you and say, this is my box over here,
Yeah.
this is Twitch box, this is work
Yeah.
box. Like,
Absolutely. Absolutely. I definitely got caught up. It's funny, I just find it amazing, the emotions and the things that I've learned in such a short period of time. But I definitely got caught up with the fact, as soon as I earned my first dollar on Twitch, I was like, oh my God, this is job. This is job. Oh my God. Like I've got to be there for these people. Like, oh my God. My job, I'm working full time. It's not like, like it was just more the fact that that was a possibility on Twitch. And I was just like, holy shit. Like,
yeah.
it's happened, like I've earned $1. Like, what is this? And I definitely got caught up in the mindset of the fact, and I took it probably more seriously than I was taking my real life job, which I just started. And I haven't spoken about my personal career outside of Twitch, but it is an amazing opportunity that I've been given, and I wasn't taking that as seriously as I was taking Twitch, which was so stupid in my mind. And I have a long distance relationship. No, like, if I could tell you where I work, you would understand. But it was like I wasn't focusing on my real job. And I was just being like, oh my God, I'm streaming now. I'm a streamer now. Like, what is this? It's crazy. But I have a long distance relationship with my partner. I work full time during the week. I need to have time for my family. And I was streaming 4 days a week. And even that was too much, an extra 2 hours a week was too much for me. I had no days where I could just kind of be like, chill out and just watch a TV show. I had nothing like that. Even though I was only a small streamer, it was overwhelming, you know? So you really need to, if then this doesn't just apply to Twitch, this applies to real life, you know? If you've taken on sporting, you've taken on all these job opportunities, you know? If you're like me, you have a long distance relationship, you have to allow time to nurture yourself and nurture all of your opportunities. You know, you can't take on too much at once. It's something everyone probably has to think about.
As my dad would always say, if you spread the jam too thin, you don't get good coverage on the bread.
Yes. Yes. Analogies.
Which I always thought was like the weirdest thing he's ever said.
I like that.
But yeah, that's I mean, that's definitely one of the more important things that, I mean, like you said, people need that in, you know, in quote unquote like real life, like, and not even just content creators, like just normal average Joes.
Yeah.
Abso-freaking-lutely. So I mean, since we alluded to, you know, kind of life outside of Twitch, what are some of the things that Iria likes to do for fun when she's not streaming and playing video games?
Well,
what are some of your hobbies aside from collecting an absurd amount of pop vinyls?
It's a huge part of it, but I'm very outdoorsy. I love going for bushwalks, which apparently a bushwalk isn't something that is that terminology isn't used in the US, if you correct me. It's like a trail, mountain trail.
Yeah, no, we call that just like a trail or a hike or
a trail. Yeah, so we call them bushwalks. Like you go out the bush, you go for a walk. Like
I mean, yeah, in a very literal sense. Yeah, the math checks out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I've kind of always grown up doing, is going outdoors, because I grew up in kind of like in I guess you could call them the mountains. I don't know. I grew up in like this like more of a bush scenario and setting. Anyways, English please. And we'd always do bushwalks and
you're Australian.
And,
we'll
like,
give you a pass.
Fires. Thank you. But yeah, we would like have, you know, set up a fire and cook some sausages, and like that's something I love doing. And I love going out canoeing. Yeah, like yesterday actually just went out canoeing and fishing with my partner, and it was like such gorgeous weather. So I just laid on the beach on this little river area.
Hell
There was
yeah.
no one around, and it was so good. But I love getting outdoors. I love walking and just being outdoors. I'm inside too much. So yeah, I love outside.
So I mean, do you do any kind of hunting or fishing, or just kind of camping about?
Fishes. He's trying to get me into fishing, but I not necessarily. I haven't really. I mean, my hobby's been video games my whole life. Anybody who's like get to know me, I'm like video games. But yeah, I just love walking, I suppose. I don't know. I'd like to try new things, so I'm very open-minded. But yeah, outdoorsy. I love being in the bush.
Amen to that. Is there any is there anything that, I mean, since you said you're kind of adventurous and you like to try new things, I'm kind of the same way. I'm a bit of a hobbyist. There's very little in terms of people that know me IRL know this. I mean, I've tried everything from home brewing my own alcohol to blacksmithing to you name it, I've done it. Except for skydiving, because fuck no, you're not paying me enough to get into a plane, yet alone jumping out of a perfectly good airplane.
I'm gonna go skydiving. That's one thing that I want to tick off.
Well, that answers one question. I was actually just gonna ask you, what are some of the things on your bucket list that you that you want to try but haven't had a chance to yet?
I mean, well, I just want to travel, to be honest. You know, like skydiving in terms of like hobby, like, you know, like experiences, that's something I wanted to do. I haven't done it yet. I don't know if I think I need to grow the balls first. You know, I'm a little bit on the edge because I'm kind of like there's no string attached to me. That's kind of scary.
Well, I mean, it's called the strings that hold the parachute to you. You kind of need those.
I'm an adrenaline junkie. I love that shit. I think it's so fun.
I mean, hence why you latched on to horrors, because it, you know, gives you that rush of adrenaline and serotonin.
Yeah. But I just want to travel. I just want to experience. I want to go to Canada. I want to go just hire a van and just go out and explore. I'm just got to be mindful of bears, apparently.
Yeah, bears are a thing.
But it's just traveling. I don't know what's out there to kind of say this is what I want to do. You know, I kind of want to just go for it. and just kind of see as we go. I'm very spontaneous in that sense.
Well, if it happens next year, you should scoop up your boo thing and come to TwitchCon.
I would love to. I would love to. I mean, I didn't even think that would ever be a thing, but yes, I would.
That would
love
totally
to.
be a thing. Are you shitting me?
I know, but like, I'm so new to Twitch. I'm kind of like, wait, what? Like,
Yes, there's an entire convention for us weird as shit people that hang out with other weird as shit people on the internet.
Yes. Oh my god, I would really like love to do that. Oh my god, that'd be.
And it's in. I think you would personally really like Cali.
Cali?
Like California? Yeah.
Oh, okay, right. Sorry.
I saw the confusion slowly arise, and I was like, I should probably clarify.
Yeah. No, I mean, I would love to go travel all around the US. Absolutely. Oh gosh. Traveling gets me really like in a mood. I'm like, oh my god,
I see that. You're like, all right, let's go.
Well, I went to New Zealand a couple years ago, and that
nice.
was like a mind-blowing experience. That was just like the first kind of thing I've ever really gone out and done on my own. And it was just amazing.
Don't go to RDW. Do not tell her not to go to New Jersey. There were perfectly.
What's wrong with New Jersey? What's wrong with it?
There's nothing wrong with New Jersey.
Why? Well, I'd go everywhere.
Especially if you like the outdoors.
Yes.
Because
it's more big, isn't it, at New Jersey?
Well, yeah, we have bears, but literally you just stare at them and they walk away. It's like.
Oh, okay. Wait, there's bears there too.
Yeah.
Oh my god, is there bears everywhere in the US? It's kind of scary.
No, they're not. There are states that you can go to that don't have bears, but in New Jersey,
okay.
They like literally you stare at them and they go. Deuces.
Okay. Kind of a little bit unnerving, but it's fine. It's fun. The bears, fine. Oh my god. I just have a quick story to tell you.
Story time.
I'm probably gonna. Your story time. So, we have these spiders in Australia that are called huntsmans.
Yes, and I love them.
You know what? You love them?
Yeah, I love spiders.
Oh my god.
Absolutely.
Yuck. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I haven't been officially diagnosed, but I'm pretty sure that is it arachnophobic? Arachnophobia. I have arachnophobia. I can't stand spiders.
Yeah, you're getting skeeved out just thinking about it, so yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, I need to calm down. Okay. So I was driving in my car up to my partner's. It takes like 45 minutes to an hour to drive to my partner's house. And I was stopped at these traffic lights. And the driver's side window, this legs came crawling up from the inside of the door. And it started crawling over my dash and started crawling near my steering wheel. And here's me like going, freaking out, and I'm holding onto the wheel, but then the light goes green, so it's like I can't stop driving. And then I was like 15 minutes away from my partner's house. So I was just like, I'm gonna keep driving. And it was the scariest thing. It was raining at nighttime. There's this gigantic huntsman running around my car, and it was so scary. And anyways, I park my car. I'm like screaming at my boyfriend, I'm like, bring a container, you need to get
Aries like, well, time to burn the car.
Well, anyways, we couldn't find the spider, so that was on Friday night. And then this morning, I was heading home, and I was like, he's like, okay, can we just go up and have a check for the spider? Like, what if it's in the visor or something, and then I pull the visor down, and then the spider jumps out at me while I'm driving? I'm crashing, right? That's gonna happen. So we.
If you don't die of a heart attack first, yeah.
Yes, that too. I opened the door, and then there's the spider has shed on my window, and there's this dangly skin. So it's still in my car. Couldn't find it. Spent a good 20 minutes looking for this spider, and it's still in my car. It's shed. There's webs everywhere, and I don't know where it is. And I really don't want to get back in my car. And it's going to be ongoing for like another week. I'm concerned.
So if anybody's got a used car for sale, I'm sure Erie is interested.
I'll buy it. I'm done. I'm not keen to get back in there. They're leggy. Okay, they're not
you have legs.
Me. I actually verbally had to give myself a pep talk before I sat in the car. I was like, these spiders don't hurt humans. They're afraid of us. It's not going to hurt me. It's fine. Like it's I had to out loud say that to myself before I got in and drove the hour. It was a thing. Yeah, especially if they're about to molt. They're looking for warmth and humidity. That's it. Molted in my car. I'm so concerned. I'm just concerned that when I'm driving, it's gonna pop out in front of me and jump. Oh yeah, no, that's genuine something to be concerned about for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, well, we'll see how that goes. I'll keep you updated throughout the week. Okay.
I'll keep an eye out on Twitter and Instagram, and just in case there's a photo of your wreck.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh gosh.
Please don't crash your car because of a spider.
I will. I won't.
Like, take the heart attack. It'll at least be quicker.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. I can promise you on that.
We're coming up on time. We swimmingly went through pretty much all the questions that we had, both from my Discord and lovely people from your chat as well, and even got through a couple of topics I just had floating around in my noodle as well. And I think this has definitely been a very productive and interesting evening. Iria, I'm going to open up the floor for you for a moment. Please, why don't you tell us where we can find you, what we can find you doing, and when we can find you.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for having me, Mr. Pip. Let me just put that out there. But
Anytime.
I'm currently on Twitch, so it's twitch.tv/MissIria, MISSIRA. And I also have Instagram. I don't use too much social media, but Instagram, it is at MissIria with an extra A on the end.
If you want to see the cutest fucking dog ever, you go to her Instagram right the fuck now.
I have a doggy. He's a shepherd. He's really cute. But yeah, thank you for having me, Mr. Pip.
Oh, hell yeah. No problem at all. Ladies and gentlemen in chat, it's been real. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Let's Chat. And until next time, may the gods be with you all. Skull.
Hey, everyone.